press conference with a thank you to John Fox.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
You're listening to Rochester, Indiana's #1 podcast, the Tan and J-Man Show, featuring Josh Munt and Tanner Lee. You're listening to episode 83 of the Tan and J-Man Show, which we are recording in scorching Rochester, Indiana right now.
I like it hotter.
You like it hotter?
Absolutely.
I drank about 100 ounces of fluid today, and I feel dehydrated.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's freaking brutal out there.
Horrible. Thank God for central air, though.
Thank God for central air. Yeah. And what happens if you get a toothache or from drinking some cold fluids trying to get cooled off? Isn't there a local dentist around here you can go see?
I was wondering where you're going with that. That was
a reach. I'm reaching out here.
That was a pretty good segue. The Tan and J-Man Show is, as always, is sponsored by Fraunfelter Dental Clinic, which is a great family-owned dental clinic that offers laser whitening and dentistry along with braces, implants, your typical teeth cleanings. Go see Dr. Bill or Dr. DJ Fraunfelter today for all your dental needs. Like them on Facebook. Check out their website, stateoftheartsmile.com.
There you go.
Yes.
Nailed it.
You know when it is hot, you like to eat a lot of ice cream.
I do.
That kind of rots out your teeth. So.
Yeah. A lot of sugary foods and
check
desserts.
Out Fraunfelter Dental Clinic.
They'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And I just want to do this at the start of the show. Usually do this at the end of the show, but we want to thank everybody who's listening to this podcast, whether you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, listening to us on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to. Anywhere you're listening to us, following us on our Twitter account at Tan and J-Man Show, Instagram account at the Tan and J-Man Show, liking us on Facebook. We're hoping to bring more and more content to you, maybe a few Facebook Live episodes here in the next couple weeks. But if you could do one thing for us, we'd really appreciate it. If you could take the time and give us a review on Facebook and or iTunes. That really helps us out, especially on iTunes. It can move us up the podcast rankings. So if you like what you hear, please take just a minute or two and go give us a rating on Facebook and or iTunes.
28-year-old Brooks Koepka, not 25-year-old Brooks Koepka,
how bad?
Became the third player ever to win back-to-back U.S. Opens. Can you name the other two? This has been
I know
since
one.
The end of World War II. This is Birdie Bogey. Wait till the end of the show.
Yeah, I know one for a fact.
Yeah, I know you would know one for a fact because this person's name was talked about quite a bit.
Yeah,
so
and he was covering the tournament
yesterday.
Yes,
he was. So I added the extra. I'm not going to give you a year either.
Okay, that's fine.
Since the end of World War II, he was the third.
Yeah, but good question because that's why I wanted to open up with talking about the U.S. Open, which just finished up yesterday up at Shinnecock Hills.
Shinnecock.
Brooks Koepka, back-to-back champ, first time since 1989.
He's about the only one that likes the USGA right now.
He is the only one. Fans, players, caddies, all involved. Mike Davis and the USGA are not very well-liked guys, especially by Phil Mickelson and his fans. We'll get to that in a minute or two, but I want to talk about Brooks Koepka a little bit. I think his win is actually getting overshadowed by what happened to Phil on Saturday and the course conditions that we saw on Saturday. But yeah, Brooks, he's tough to figure out. He dominated Aaron Hills last year at 16 under, and then he wins a grinder of a tournament at 1 over par, which I think the USGA usually likes the winning score to be even or just a little bit under par or over par, so they got their wish there. But he's a bomber. Brooks is a bomber, just like his best buddy and the guy he played with yesterday in the final round, Dustin Johnson. They're best friends off the course and like to push each other into the gym and whatnot. But Brooks only has 4 of 5 career wins, and 2 of them are now back-to-back U.S. Open victories.
I guess if you're going to get your wins.
I guess so. I mean, but if he could go get, one more major or even like a Players' Championship, you're probably talking about future Hall of Famer already, which is kind of crazy. But he's got a lot of talent. I just can't figure out why he doesn't win more over here. But some players just get more into the zone for majors. I think it was his swing coach was saying that he plays more conservative in majors, and they've been trying to get him to play more conservative in all tournaments, but he won't for whatever reason. And when he does in majors, he does really well. Now we'll see what he does the rest of this year. Last year after the U.S. Open, he had a wrist injury late in the season. He didn't even play in the Masters this year because of his wrist injury. So he hasn't played in too many tournaments this year. We'll see how he does the rest of the season. He's definitely a lock to be on the Ryder Cup team come in the fall. So, which I think the Ryder Cup's got to be pretty interesting. A lot of Americans playing good golf. A lot of Europeans playing good golf. Tommy Fleetwood yesterday played outstanding. Tied the U.S. Open record of a round of 63. Even though I'm not a huge Fleetwood fan just because he doesn't play over here much, I was hoping he'd make that putt because Johnny Miller is one of those guys who has the record of 63, and I hate Johnny Miller. So I was really hoping Fleetwood could make that putt on 18.
I wonder if his nickname's Fleetwood Mac.
Could be. I don't know. But that was something. He went out early, shot a 63, and lost by a stroke. So 2 years in a row, Brooks Koepka's finished number one. Tommy Fleetwood has finished runner-up 2 years in a row in the U.S. Open.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of interesting. So a couple of other names to note. Patrick Reed came out guns a-blazing yesterday. Captain America birdied, I think it was either 4 of his first 5 or 5 of his first 6 holes. Then he had a few hiccups early in the back nine, ended up costing him. He actually ended up 3-putting the last hole for Bogey, so he got tied for 5th instead of being 3rd. But all of a sudden, a guy who could never play in the majors got a top 10 last year in the PGA, won the Masters, and got a top 5 in the U.S. Open. So he's not just a Ryder Cupper anymore, folks. I think you need to believe the hype. Patrick Reed is for real. And I know a lot of people don't like him. I do. He's one of my top 5 favorite golfers. I like him. I don't necessarily agree with everything he does off the course, but on the course, I love the way he plays. Tiger Woods missed the cut. Rory McIlroy, who you're truly stupidly picked, missed the cut.
Jordan Spieth
missed the cut. Matt Kuchar missed the cut, and the reason I bring him up, he was 2 under after the first 9 holes of the tournament, and then he missed the cut pretty bad. Phil Mickelson made the cuts, but Phil did make the headlines this weekend. Wasn't playing very well, and on Saturday at a 13th hole at Shinnecock Hills, he was putting for bogey, and about a 10-footer. Ball was going well past the hole, was definitely going to run off the green. Phil literally jogs over to it and hits it back towards the hole while it was still moving. Darn near makes it, misses the next putt, gets an 8, but has to be assessed a 2-stroke penalty because he hit a ball while it was still moving. Gets a 10, just gets bombarded on Twitter. I was shocked. I was watching it live. I've never seen a pro do that. I guess John Daly did in '99. But Phil was bombarded by the media afterwards. He said he knew of the rule and where his ball was going to end up. He didn't like his chances to even chip it on and 2-putt from there, so he just went ahead, smacked it as close as he could towards the hole, and then played there, and it was going to be assessed as 2-stroker. I do actually think Phil was telling the truth, but I also think he was pissed off. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like the USGA. He's been very hard on them in the past. Made comments last week about their setup at Shinnecock in 2004, how it was carnival golf pretty much. And then to see the course play like that on Saturday, I think that had a little to do with it. Yes, as a Phil Mickelson fan, Phil's easily my second favorite golfer behind Ricky Fowler. I was disappointed to see him do that just because that's just uncharacteristic of Phil, even though he does like to stir the pot. As he did with his Tom Watson comments a few years ago when Tom was the Ryder Cup captain and did a bad job. Phil kind of ripped him in public. He likes to stir the pot a little bit, but I just wish he wouldn't have done it. He knows better than that. Even if it's from a strategical standpoint, I don't think he really needed to do that because he wasn't in the hunt at all. But I think people are overblowing it just because it is Phil Mickelson.
I thought it was hilarious. Hilarious. There's a lot of stuffy kind of... Mm-hmm. I don't know, golf fans out there that were real pissy about it, but the dude was so far out of it. He was mad. It was whatever.
And he almost withdrew. He thought about it. He talked to Mike Davis, the head of the USGA, on Saturday night, if he should continue to play on Sunday, and he did. He played yesterday. He was actually paired with Ricky Fowler, and they were both so far out of it. I think Phil shot 1 or 2 under yesterday, and Ricky went out and shot 65, which at the time when he did that yesterday was the best round of the week in the U.S. Open, but Fleetwood beat that with the 63. But Yeah, I thought, and then Phil was fun out there yesterday. He was celebrating. He parred the hole yesterday, and you would have thought he won the Masters. He gave about 4 two-fisted fist pumps above his head. He was having fun with the crowd, and that's what you gotta love about Phil. Is just Phil being Phil. It just is what it is, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't see too much problem with it, but there's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, his reputation is tainted now." So. We'll see. I don't know. But Ricky Fowler, who you picked, was looking good through 2 rounds. Really could have been sitting a lot better through Friday than he was. He couldn't make some. He was missing a lot of birdie looks on Friday. Went out and shot an 84 on Saturday. Yeah. I had it streaming online because he was part of the featured group. Turned it off after 10 holes. I couldn't watch him anymore, and I just couldn't take it. His driver was so off. He was just terrible. And
I wonder when the last time he shot an 84 was.
I know at the Memorial a couple of years ago, I want to say it was 2013, he was paired with Tiger on a Sunday. He either shot 84 and 86. But and that was not in tough conditions. He said what he played in Saturday at Shinnecock was the toughest conditions, which I know you didn't watch any of the tournament, but you might have saw some highlights. It was ridiculous Saturday. I mean, guys were missing 12-footers, and then it would literally run off the green. I mean, USGA blew it. They set it up to play, of course, a little easy in the morning, and then they thought they set it up to where whenever the winds and the conditions got bad with the weather, the course would be able to maintain it. Couldn't. They messed it up. They blew it. They apologized, but, I mean, a lot of guys were way out of the tournament come yesterday, and then yesterday with scoring conditions were a little better. I mean, I know, the maintenance staff and the grounds crew at the Masters, I'm sure they've blown it sometime predicting the weather, but this was really bad, and it got ripped on in 2004. It's pretty bad this year. They go back there in 2026 to Shinnecock. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm sure this will all get replayed come 2026. But, overshadowed by Phil's controversy and the controversy of the USGA setup. Hats off to Brooks Koepka, even though I'm not a huge fan of his. He proved me wrong this week, and he's the real deal.
I saw a debate going on. I think it was on one of those dumb ESPN shows about Dustin Johnson being a majors choker. What do you think about that?
Well, he does have one U.S. Open to his name. He won 2 years ago. He's in contention all the time, and he has trouble keeping the lead. He had the lead going in Saturday by 4, shot a 77. So I think a little of that is fair, but
the fact that he won one, though?
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that. I saw people get on Fowler's case that he shot 84. Ricky never has the lead, though. He never chokes away the lead. He just sometimes doesn't perform well on the weekends, and really this was his first bad round in a major in a long time. He had been really good. Come British Open time next month, come this date next month, people will still be picking him because he usually plays good in bad weather, and until he gets one, people are going to pick him. He usually plays good in majors and just had a bad day. That's a great thing about golf. You just never know day to day. But so I think Dustin has earned a little bit of that criticism, but for the most part, he's number one in the world for a reason. He's really talented, and he just didn't quite play good enough yesterday to get it done. But, the Travelers Championship this week, handful of big names playing in it, but really there's no big tournaments now until for the most part, till the British Open next month. So that'll be here literally in a month. So I don't really think I have too much more to hit on golf, so let's get right into some baseball talk.
Baseball?
Got a Cubs shirt on. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Took 2 of 3. Was it a 3-game series from the Cardinals? Got to be pretty pleased with that. But first...
And this will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week.
Dano, hold it a minute. I want to book this one.
The Cubs will leave St. Louis on Sunday night in first place. They're half game out right now. They will leave in first place. Well, they stayed a half game out. So the J-Man will be getting Gene Wilder right now.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Overall, I was fairly pleased with the week. I think sitting here last week, I said, I'd be fairly happy. Just hold serve, go 3-3. Just don't get swept pretty much. And so they did really what, at the bare minimum, I was kind of hoping they'd do. They started the week in Milwaukee and won a crazy game on Monday night, down 2-1 against Josh Hader, who had, I think lefties are hitting like 111 off him, and he puts a guy on. Jason Hayward comes up, hits a RBI single to tie it. They go to the 11th inning, put up 5 runs. Cubs win 7-2. Was feeling really good about it. Then they got shut out the last 2 games of that series. Tuesday wasn't that bad. I mean, they lost 4-0. Just got outplayed. They just didn't look very good. Then I was kind of pissy on Wednesday. They lost 1-0. Their at-bats were terrible. Whole bunch of just soft contact, and I think they struck out 13 times that game. But then they come to St. Louis and played really well on Friday and Saturday, scored runs, got really good starting pitching. Bullpen continues to be fantastic. Chris Bryant is still in his slump. I thought he busted out of that slump on Friday with a 2-run homer, but he's still really struggling. He's not really making contact. He's popping a lot of stuff up, but he has a long enough track record where don't really worry about him anymore. Their offense is extreme feast or famine, has been all year. I think they need to do something really to offset that and become more consistent. I don't know what that would entail. I don't anticipate them going hard after Manny Machado. I think they don't need him, and they'd have to give up way too much for 2 months worth of Manny Machado, but they really need a guy kind of like John Jay they had last year who made contact, just a good baseball player, put the ball in play, got on base. They need kind of one of those guys on this roster. In their 40 wins, they have averaged 7.1 runs per game in their 40 wins. In their 28 losses, they have averaged 1.9 runs per game. So there's no middle ground at all. They're still leading the National League in runs per game, but there's no middle ground. They're either scoring 12 or getting shut out. They have the highest, or they have the most such games combined of scoring 10 or more runs or scoring 0 runs. They have, I think, 11 such games, and the Brewers have 9 of those games. So we really need to start hitting the ball well, still getting really good starting pitching. Yu Darvish threw off the mound for the first time over the weekends, looked really good. We're hoping he can be back before the All-Star break, because originally they were saying it probably won't be until after the All-Star break, but it'd be nice to get him back because Tyler Chatwood still sucks. They have a big series this week starting tonight at Wrigley against the Dodgers, who are all of a sudden playing really well and probably the odds-on favorite to win that division again. Rematch of the past 2 years' worth of National League Championship Series. I think the Dodgers have the pitching matchup the first 2 games with Kenta Maeda against Tyler Chatwood tonight. Tomorrow's matchup's kind of interesting. 2 lefties, Mike Montgomery, who's been fantastic out of the rotation, who, in my opinion, should stay in the rotation when Darvish comes back, and they could either go to a 6-man rotation or slide Tyler Chatwood to the DL, which they might end up doing, just kind of make up a phantom injury if he continues to pitch poorly. And they face old man, former Cub Rich Hill, who is coming off the DL he had a blister issue. And then on Wednesday afternoon, Johnny Lester goes, who's been the best pitcher in the National League, ERA-wise, or one of the best pitchers in the National League, not the best. That'd be Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer in the National League. But he's been so consistent, and they face Ross Stripling, which is he's an interesting guy. I think he's a 27-year-old that's kind of burst onto the scene this year and has been just phenomenal in Clayton Kershaw's absence, and he's been one of the better, probably top 3 or 4 pitchers in the NL so far this year. And then they go to Cincinnati for 4 over the weekend. So
Cincinnati Reds.
The Cincinnati Reds. Be nice to win 3 or 4 there.
You're feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling all right.
Pretty good. You were a little fired up on Twitter last night about the Cubs pitchers having a hit.
Yeah.
They always have to hit.
Yeah. I wouldn't say, fired up. I wasn't really fired up. I was just like, come on, this is kind of dumb. But really, I've been saying this for probably 4 or 5 years that the National League needs to adopt the DH, and in my opinion, they will within the next 2 or 3 years, maybe even as soon as next year. Because Commissioner Rob Manfred, has kind of hinted at that being a possibility. But really, for the past 2 nights, Cubs pitchers have had to hit with the bases loaded in big spots early in the game, and obviously it didn't come through. But I put on Twitter, it's way past time for the National League to adopt the DH. We had a poll. Tanner put a poll out. Should the National League adopt the DH? I hope I worded it right. And do you know what that poll ended up being?
It's running all week.
Still running all week.
So let me check right now.
Why I say this, the 9th spot in the batting order in the National League is a complete automatic out. Pitchers coming into last night, and I'm sure it's gone down since last night, are hitting 112 this year. That's the all-time low. Pitchers are getting so much better doing the thing they're paid to do, which is pitch. We don't need that. You get 8 players and then an auto out at 9. Implement the DH. Runs are right now at a minimum. We really need more offense in the game of baseball. Time for the DH. I've had people kind of going at me, no, this is the way it's always been played. There's a lot more strategy. National League managers are far better. A lot more strategy in the National League, which is fair. I mean, there is more strategy, but I'm tired of having to yank starting pitchers in the 6th inning of a close game because they have an opportunity to score runs. Or you leave pitchers in too long, too, because you kind of want to get them another at-bat to where they can stay in, and it hurts the offense as well. And especially being a Cubs fan, the DH would be phenomenal because at any given time you're going to have one of either Ian Happ, Javi Baez, Addie Russell, Kyle Schwarber, Jason Hayward, Ben Zobrist, Albert Almora on the bench every game. So that's just not great, and obviously they're a really good team and can overcome that. But Cubs do not win the World Series without getting to play 4 games with the DH.
The poll's only got 6 votes so far. 67% yes, 33% no. That poll's running next 5 days, so get on there. It's also on our Facebook page if you'd rather vote there. I don't think, last I checked, which was like an hour ago, nobody had voted for it yet. Either way, so.
It's time.
Yep, they'll both be up. And that Facebook one will be on until next Monday. So.
Yes.
Facebook needs to get their crap together and make their polls easier to customize. But I don't have too much to talk about the Yankees, really. They won a series over the Rays over the weekend. They have a doubleheader against the Washington going on right now. Lost the first one, play the next one. They might have just started, actually.
The first one was kind of interesting. It was a suspended game. It was 3-3 in the 6th inning. It got rained out after 5, which is a complete game, official game, but then it was just tied. So now, I think it was May 15th they started this game. And now they had to finish it tonight. Juan Soto, who's been one of the best young players in baseball, he's 19 years old, did not make his Major League debut until May 20th. He hits a homer to give the Nationals, the lead, and it ultimately won them the game. I don't think it was necessarily fair that he was allowed to be on this roster, but it's kind of baseball. It's kind of an interesting thing. It was not counted as his first career homer, but it's counted as a homer on May 15th, even though he didn't make his Major League debut until May 20th. Interesting.
Cheaters.
Cheaters, yes. They're all cheaters.
Yeah, they play the Nationals tonight, finish doubleheader, then they play Seattle, and then Tampa Bay again.
They've been playing Tampa a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's on a tear right now.
Yeah,
they continue to play really good baseball without really that much talent. Be interesting to see how long they can keep it up.
Yep, I called them a pretender last week. They're trying to make me change my mind.
Yep.
I do got an interesting thing up here. I know you're a big Mike Trout fan. He's your favorite non-Cub, easily, MLB. Got an interesting list here. It compares his numbers through Oh, wow. Slow down, Tanner. Compares his numbers through 997 games compared to all these all-time leaders through 1,000 games. Let me explain here.
Did you see this on ESPN.com today?
Yes.
Did Keith Olbermann write it? Pretty sure it was Keith Olbermann because I read it too.
I don't know. I got it right here on my computer. Okay. But home run leaders. Oh, nope. Hits leaders. Pete Rose is the hits leader of all time. Through Pete Rose's first 1,000 games, he had 1,231 hits. Mike Trout, through 997 games, has 1,123 hits. Doubt he gets that one.
No, I don't think anyone ever will get that one again.
Home runs, Barry Bonds had 172. Mike Trout has 224. No. And Mike Trout's not juicing.
Mike Trout's not juicing.
At least as far as we know. Runs, Ricky Henderson, 795. Mike Trout, 752.
That stat doesn't really do much for me.
I'm just reading what's on the darn website, J-Man. Walks, Barry Bonds, 603. Mike Trout, 631.
Bonds ended up with like 2,600 career walks to like 700 some strikeouts or something like that. I'm way off, but sounds about right.
WAR, Bonds, 50. Mike Trout, 60.5.
That's kind of a new age stat, wins above replacement. Mike Trout is on pace for the greatest season in Major League history, which is currently owned by Babe Ruth, according to wins above replacement.
TB, Hank Aaron, 2,221. Mike Trout, 2,097.
Total bases. That stat really doesn't do much for me either.
It does look like he's going to probably pass the Angels in about every category for the all-time leader. He's 8th in hits right now, 1,109. Garrett Anderson's the leader with 2,368.
Should have used that as a trivia question. I probably would have guessed Garrett Anderson.
Home runs, he's 4th at 220. Tim Salmon, 299 is a franchise leader.
I was going to guess him. You should say who do you
think? Okay, I
Son
got you.
of a
I thought it'd be Troy Glaus.
My lord, you always get to answer the trivia questions. I always have to come up with
I didn't
them.
know you want me to do that. You saw this list earlier.
I didn't see this part. I just saw the top part.
Runs, he's 5th with 744.
I don't care who the leader is, but who is it?
Garrett Anderson,
Oh, really?
1,024. RBIs, he's 8th with 608.
Seems like a Garrett Anderson stat.
Garrett
as well.
Anderson, 1,292.
He was really underrated.
He
lefty.
was. Walk, 623. That's good for 4th.
I have no idea.
Tim Salmon, 970. Stolen bases. He's,
Salmon and Trout.
stolen bases, he is 3rd with 178.
Sean Figgins.
Sean Figgins,
Seriously?
280.
I pulled that out of nowhere.
Hits by pitches, he's 5th with 57.
I don't know.
Brian Downing with 105.
I was going to say Brian Downing.
Uh-huh. All right. Yep. So I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting.
Mike Trout might be the most underrated player in the history of baseball. We are watching Mickey Mantle right now.
Kind of like what we used to say. Well, not compared to Mickey Mantle. Kind of what we used to say about Miguel Cabrera,
Right?
who is out for the year now.
Yes, he is kind of on that severe downward decline, Mickey. Mike Trout is Mickey Mantle, and we don't even know it.
Yep.
People don't even talk about it.
Nope. If he played in a different market, they probably would. And he's out in L.A. But
if he played for the Dodgers, we would.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah. Well, how many teams would he get talked about all the time? What teams?
Yankees,
Of course.
Cubs.
Yep.
Red Sox.
Yep. Mets.
Probably the Mets. Dodgers.
Yep.
I would even say a team like Houston. They get a ton of pub. I mean, they're the 4th biggest market, but you kind of view them as a small market.
And I would say the Mets more so than a team like the White Sox. If you play
Right.
for the
No
White Sox.
one cares about the White Sox really anywhere.
How about the Braves? If you play for the Braves.
That's an interesting
or
one.
the Nationals.
Nationals, I think so, just because they've been good. And they're East Coast. There's an East Coast
Yeah,
bias.
big time.
Braves, that's an interesting one. I kind of view the Angels like I would the Mariners. I think it'd be the exact same if he's with the Mariners.
No, I think that's pretty much all the teams. I mean, look at Maggie in Detroit. Nobody really talks about, and he's getting older and doesn't have the same production he used to. But,
St. Louis, he would.
But like Maggie doesn't get talked about as much as he used to.
Well, he hadn't been as good either.
True.
Did
getting
win,
older. His production.
Did win like back-to-back MVPs just 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep. But interesting stuff. Got anything else you want to talk about in MLB?
I have nothing, man.
We are not covering this live this Thursday. We did last year, but we're not doing it this year. The NBA draft. I didn't even know it was Thursday, to be honest. I knew some Purdue guys had been working out with some teams, particularly Dakota, the Midwestern Cowboy Matthias. He's getting the most workouts of anybody. Working out for the Sixers today, for the Warriors tomorrow. Doubt he gets drafted. I mean, I've seen some buzz, maybe late round second, but I don't think he gets drafted, but I think he's putting himself in good position to get picked up after the draft, and sometimes that's better.
Should be a summer league participant.
Yeah. So and see what happens. I know Haas worked out for the Pistons. Vince Edwards has had quite a few workouts. Houston today. I think he's worked out for Oklahoma City twice. He was either working out for the Nets or the Knicks last week, so he's had a couple. PJ, of course, none. But Illini, anybody getting workout or Black getting any workouts or anything?
I haven't heard a word about him.
Haven't heard anything. Any news on the recruiting trails or anything?
Not in June.
No, there's not much going on with Purdue basketball recruiting, but Purdue football recruiting's heating up. They got 5 commits over the weekend. They got a punter who actually has never punted in a high school game yet. Just picked up punting in the spring. He's been a football player, but also a soccer player.
Dude, you punt to win in the Big Ten.
But yet he's ranked in the top 10 punters on Rivals, but he's never punted in the game. So
got a strong leg.
He had interest from Penn State, but Purdue was his first offer, and he took it. They got two 2-star offensive linemen. They got a 3-star defensive end who had a offer from Georgia. That's kind of nice. And then they also got a 3-star running back. Had some interest from North Carolina and Tennessee, but I think his best offer is Appalachian State. But as we started this podcast, they did get a 3-star cornerback today committed just within the last hour, and he had a Michigan offer. Anytime they can beat Michigan, which they've beat Michigan for a couple recruits, give a big old FU to Harbaugh. That's perfectly fine by me. But the reason I bring this up, I got the team rankings here of Rivals up. Purdue's almost in the top 25 in team rankings. Very early. I mean, they rank these things till December, January. So stuff's got to change a bunch. But as it sits right now on June 18th, 2018, Purdue is ranked 26th in the team rankings, which is night and day compared to where Darrell Hazel barely had them breaking the top 100. You want to know where your Illini's at?
They have 4 commits, so it's not going to be high, even though they have probably maybe
It's not too bad. They got 5 commits.
5 commits, what is it, 48?
It's 45. Not bad at all.
They're helped because they have I don't know if he's a 5-star in Rivals, but he is by Scout and ESPN, a quarterback, which always helps, and a 4-star defensive back. Marquez Beeson is the guy's name. For their commits, though, I mean, they have kind of it's a small class so far, and it's going to grow. And it honestly might end up being a top 30 or 25 class when it's all said and done. But it's a pretty good start. I haven't followed football recruiting since Aurelius Ben and Martez Wilson back in 2007, so I can't really tell you much.
Yeah, Purdue with getting this 14th. This is their 14th commitment already with this cornerback. They have 3 4-stars and 7 3-stars.
They get a lot of commits early. Brian Brown kind of does the PJ Fleck where he really pushes for commits early, which, I mean, it works, but also other times it could piss kids off. So take what you can get.
Yep. And they're going after some other big boys. They thought they had wide receiver from Fort Wayne, Craig Young, 3-star. They thought they had him committed last Monday. He was actually tweeted about making a commitment video. Then he all of a sudden went silent. Ohio State had him come over for camp and really push for his commitment, even though they view him more as a defensive back than a wide receiver, which initially was reported he wanted to play. He committed to Ohio State Friday night, so that was kind of a bummer. But they're in the top 5 for David Bell. I mean, 4-star, high 4-star wide receiver, could potentially be a 5-star from Warren Central. He would really be nice to get. His final 5 is Ohio State, Purdue, Indiana, Iowa, and I want to say it was Michigan State was the other one. So that's the interesting thing about the rankings. Purdue's 26th, but you look, Michigan State's 24th, Minnesota's 23rd, Northwestern's right behind Purdue at 27. Wisconsin 18, Michigan 17, Penn State 16, Ohio State 10. So you got the Big Ten pretty well represented. Notre Dame, for all you Notre Dame fans, they're 6th right now. So the top's what you expect. Alabama 1, A&M with Jimbo there 2, Oklahoma 3, Clemson 4, Georgia 5, South Carolina 7. That's kind of a surprise. Mud Dogs, Hurricanes are 8. Oregon 9. Man. So Well, Oregon, it's interesting to see Crystal Ball have a top 10 class there.
He has a crystal ball.
Taggart's at Florida State now, who has the 11th class.
It was a pretty good pun by me that you just glossed over. Can't believe it.
Oh, I heard it. It was a pretty good one. Give you props. So
thank you.
So yeah, other than that, I don't think I have much else to hit on.
I haven't done a bucket yet, so this will be the J-Man's bucket prediction of the week.
Dano, hold it a minute. I want to book this one.
I hate the NBA, but I'm gonna do an NBA draft bucket. Luka Doncic will go in the top 2. Foreigner. He's a stud.
I like it.
Yes. I think the other guy in the top 2 will be that DeAndre Ayton or Ayton from Arizona. But my bucket is Luka Doncic will go in the, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, top 2.
I got another quick fact about the U.S. Open I forgot to mention when we were talking about it earlier, right before we do Birdie Bogey. The last 3 winners of the U.S. Open at Shinnecock, which was this year Brooks Koepka, 2004 Retief Goosen, and 95 Corey Pavin, all were ranked number 9 in the world at the time.
It's an interesting
factoid. Little conspiracy there.
The J-Man's bucket prediction of the week, as always, is sponsored by Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Watering. Here's a little jingle from Travis himself.
Watering with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. I'm a multi-line agent specializing in life, home, renters, auto, business insurance, workers' compensation, and farm insurance. Please contact me at travis.watering@infb.com or 219-869-4561. And my business Twitter is @TTW_IFBI.
Birdie Bogey.
28-year-old Brooks Koepka became the 3rd player since the end of World War II to win 2 straight U.S. Open championships. Name the other 2.
Curtis Strange?
Curtis Strange is the first one.
Who did that in 1989?
88-89, correct.
And, I'm not sure about this one. Jack Nicklaus?
No. Ben Hogan.
Dang it.
From Hogan's Heroes.
All right. Yep. Prettiest swing for any professional that will ever swing.
You got a paw.
I'll take a par. Better than bogey.
Like a paw.
Would have took some pars yesterday in my actual golf game, but that's the story for another day. So
paw.
But like we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, we appreciate all the listeners, whether it's on SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you like to listen to your podcasts on. YouTube, our podcasts are on YouTube, so subscribe there if you want to. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter @TNJMan Show, follow us on Instagram @the TNJMan Show. And if you would, please kindly, if you like what you hear, or if you don't like what you hear, we can take some criticism. Give us a rating and review on Facebook.
I don't think I can handle it.
Facebook and iTunes. Yeah, J-Man might cry. Just don't get him. Don't critique his beard. He'll really get upset. So we'll be back next Monday for episode 84 of Rochester's #1 podcast, sponsored by Frauenfelder Dental Clinic, great family-owned dental clinic. We'll be back next Monday for episode 84, and we will be Facebook Live.
No, we won't.
Yes,
be
we will.
Facebook Live.
Yes, we will. So hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you Facebook Live next Monday.